Greetings, geeks. Adam and Michael here. We're ready to kick off a new series here on YouTube. We're very excited about this. We're going to be talking about top 10 lists. Ooh, why top 10 lists? Well, in Wizards history, it feels like that was where they got the most attention, the most controversy. Top 10 writers and artists, top 10 comics, top 10 heroes and villains, and so on. When you create a list like that, it really gets people's attention, don't you think, Michael?
I think so. And we've been getting a lot of positive feedback from the Turok's top 10 list, but it's not a visual thing. So we wanted to do something that's a visual top 10. And I think we're going to start off something that's pretty strong and there's a lot to pick from. So it gives us, it was very hard to choose and narrow down to 10 of what we're going to do today as our top 10 list.
That's right. So we are handling the top 10 Spider-Man covers of Wizard magazine. So we went all throughout the history of Wizard, and Spidey was on there a lot. I think he was rivaled only by Wolverine. And generally speaking, we tried to pick the ones where he was the main focus. In a couple of these, there's a few other people there with him as well. So it's one of those things where we wanted to give Spidey the spotlight we felt he deserved. He was there from the beginning. But Michael, why don't you kick us off?
So yeah, I mean, like I said, this was a hard list to choose from, and there's a lot to look at, a lot to pick, and there was a lot that I liked that were sort of ended up being, runners up. But my number five is actually issue number one, mainly because it's the most significant, right? This is what sparked everything about Wizard Magazine was issue number one and the Wizard cloak on Spider-Man. It's essentially like, the elder statesman of all of the Wizard issues, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. For those who don't know the history of that image, it was actually commissioned by Gareb Shamus for his father by Todd McFarlane just when he was in their family comic book shop. And eventually, when they decided to run these things, they used the image, on their first little ash can edition that they put together with a price guide. And then when the magazine was actually launching. So it has a history to it as well. And of course, Todd McFarlane was the guy of the moment and continues to be a legend of the industry. So yeah, I think that's a great pick to start out. My first pick here is kind of a fun one. This is from a little bit later on, way past issue number one, and that is issue number 89. Okay, and so this is an Alex Ross cover of Spider-Man and Superman. What this is actually a recreation of the Spider-Man versus Superman cover. The first time they had ever teamed up in the late 70s. It was a big event. And so it's one of those things that I remember getting the crossover classics trade in the mid
Really?
90s. And I was like, oh, look at all these awesome crossovers I didn't know about. And then to see Alex Ross bring it to life, with his signature shading and everything else that he does to make things so special. It's a very dynamic cover, and it's fun to have that recreated in his signature art style.
It really is a beautiful cover, and it's very, very like iconic and eye-catching. And it does have that sort of like, you know, Bronze Age feel or like Silver Age feel as well, but in essence also being sort of modern in a way, which is really, really cool. Yeah, no, I like this cover a lot. Now, initially I had on my list for number four issue 42, which is also an Alex Ross cover, but it's essentially the Avengers, right? And Spider-Man happens to be there. But because we just did an Alex Ross cover, I'm going to say that's an honorable mention. And
Okay.
in turn, I am going to point out this cover that I like and I'm also confused by, but it took me a minute to double take it. It's actually issue number 154, and it's Spider-Man with his mask kind of half pulled up with lipstick all over his face, and he's flanked by both Black Cat and Mary Jane Watson, who are all essentially look like they're just paintings of people modeling as the characters. Um, I can't really read who the person did this cover. Do you
It's a
know
it's a
who?
guy. The artist's name is Mike Mayhew. He's not an
Okay.
artist I'm super familiar with, but you're right. That is a very, very engaging cover. All right. My next one here is in a similar vein, then, because it actually is the cover for issue number 130,
I like
which,
that one too. I was thinking about
yeah, and
that one.
there's a reason, Michael, because it's one of your favorite artists, Terry Dodson,
Yes,
actually
it
did this
is.
cover. And so it's, again, his mask is up and Black Cat has her arms around his neck. Now, what I like about this is that we know that in the 90s, we had the whole bad girl thing going on. And in the 2000s, it was very cheesecake and all that type of thing. But I like here that you have Spidey and Black Cat together. So it's not like, hey, let's just look at this beautiful woman over here and oogle and, ogle her. Let's see these two people actually in a relationship. It feels like there's a moment happening on the cover. It's not just a dynamic pose. There's a moment that you are getting to engage with on there. So I like when Wizard could do that, when they're just like, yes, it gets your attention, but in a totally different way than just
Yeah,
action pose.
for sure. Totally. So my number three cover is actually cover number 108, which is a Daredevil Spider-Man cover. And it's also a dynamic sort of like fight scene cover. And what's interesting about this particular one, this is actually the black and red suit, not the blue and red suit for Spider-Man. And it's visually stunning how they're able to blend the two reds but keep the depth to the image, and they're not like overlaying each other and getting lost in each other's, illustration in a way.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I think that, yeah, again, it's one of those things where if you get like a little smidge off what you're expecting, right? Not classic Spider-Man, like you said, it's got that different coloration to it. It makes it stand out. It makes it something special. So
So what's
uh,
interesting about this cover that I'm looking at closely, it's got a little like almost like a post-it look on it, and it says Casada and Ross. So I guess they did it together.
yeah, so this is a mashup cover. Joe Quesada pencils, Alex Ross paints. Isn't that
Wow,
awesome?
that's pretty cool. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome.
And my next one here is getting back to another team up that we've already featured, but in a different style. So this is actually a cover that I just love for the comedy of it all, because there wasn't always a lot of comedy on the Wizard covers, but this is for issue number 92. Okay. And what we have here is a Kevin Maguire cover of Spider-Man and Superman together. And Superman is just kind of like looking off to the side, and they're doing an arm wrestling match where Spidey can't quite get it over the top. He as strong as he is with his proportionate strength of a spider, he is not as strong as the Man of Steel. Maybe he needed a baseball cap to flip backwards, right? To turn it on like Stallone and over the top.
I,
But
I I find it funny that Superman is actually reading an issue of Wizard that happens to be like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer issue. Just pretty funny.
yeah, so again, it's just when they can get your attention in a way that's not just like this guy's punching something or he looks cool. It's like, wow, that's clever. That is just fun. So I love it. Breaking news, geeks! Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look.
Now you can finally use Manscaped products that make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and use the code Wizards20 for 20% off and free shipping. Crazy.
Now, here's the thing, Michael. Alan Moore certainly carved out a look for himself when it came to facial hair. But here's the thing, geeks. You aren't a genius comic book writer who might also be a wizard. So it's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard. So say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit.
Manscaped sent us both their Beard Hedger Pro Kit, and I used it this morning. And I'll tell you, so I tried out the beard conditioner, the beard shampoo, and I've been using a lot of different products for shaving my beard and shaving my head and so on and so forth. This stuff, not only did it smell really good, it felt like my skin felt like rejuvenated a little. And I used the beard trimmer here, this beard hedger, and I barely knew that it was touching my face. It was so smooth and it cut so close. I actually cut closer than I thought I was going to. And it was fantastic, though. I really liked it. The design is so unique. that it felt really good in my hand too. And I've used a ton of different buzzers. This one, unbelievable. This head design is wild. And even when you pop it off, if you want to get really close, it has a nice sort of edger for when you're doing like under your mustache area or like your under your lip or around your ears and such. It was really, really cool. I used it. I really liked it. It's got a ton of different levels that you can adjust to. So if you have a really, really thick, like grizzly man beard, you can go up to level 10. I've never even seen that on a buzzer before. And I usually use two, 2.5. This was fantastic. It charged really, really fast using USB-C. It was very cool. I really liked it. And I got to say, in particular, this beard shampoo was really, really nice. I funny enough, I was thinking as I'm using this, right? We have this beard conditioner. I've been shaving my head or had short hair for so long. I haven't used conditioner on my head. It's got to be 15 years. And using it on my beard felt funny, but it really felt good. Like it kind of like softened the hairs to make it easier to cut and everything. I was really impressed by it. Very cool stuff.
Well, Michael, here's the thing, because when I was a kid, I thought shaving was going to be awesome. I'd watch my dad and think, oh, it's going to be cool to have whiskers to shave, you know? But now as an adult, shaving is like my least favorite thing. I put it off for so long.
That's why
Using
I grew a beard.
store-bought razors. Yeah. I'm never like sure if they're going to get the job done. You know, it is far from a luxurious experience. But with the Manscaped Beard Hedger Pro Kit, I have an excuse to stop shaving now and get my beard game going strong, you know? So, and if
If you grow a beard, I'll die. I'll love it.
well, it's all about the gear, Michael, like you said. So tell them a little bit more about the tools that are for more than just your family jewels.
So it starts with the beard hedger, which like I said, is a juggernaut that fixes faces. It's really wild. First off, you get the cordless trimmer with a rotating wheel that gives your 20 haircut lengths all in one guard. It's really, like I said, crazy. This half sizes and everything. So no more messy drawers full with all this extra add-ons. It literally is one unit with one head to put on, and it works really, really cool. I really was impressed by that.
And here's the thing, like it's waterproof, so you can actually shave in the shower. You avoid
I
all the
did. I
hair on
did.
the
I used
sink.
it in the shower. It worked fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also got a titanium coated T blade. It's tough on hair, but smooth on your face, like Michael was saying, leading to it. It's got single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. And the Pro Kit doesn't end there, though, because they've created 4 dermatologist tested formulations for your post trim care. Michael, tell them a little bit more about it.
So first, like I said, was this beard shampoo and conditioner, right? And I just tried them. You need to remember all of your hair is different. Everybody's beard is different, and your hair is more coarse and easier to damage than your hair on your head or lack thereof on my head. That's why this kit is made for shampoo conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, which is a big issue that I have, and replace natural oils and promote beard health.
Next, also to mention, the kit has what is called Manscaped's beard oil. Okay, so we got the beard oil here, an essential piece for your main facial accessory. You got to put it there. No one wants a guy whose beard is like brittle and dry, so the oil relieves the dryness on both the beard and the skin beneath while adding a little shimmer and shine, making you look extra fine. Yeah, but like Michael was also mentioning, you know, you have the beard balm. It's this pomade that shapes and styles and moisturizes and tames for a sculpted look. It's sure to make Thunderstrike Eric Masterson jealous, but that's not hard. His beard, not so impressive.
The Beard Pro Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, a beard comb, and scissors, right? So this beard brush is so nice. Like it really, if you have a big, bushy, heavy beard, I see a lot of guys using this all the time and they brush their beard. I've never seen a beard comb before, but this thing is made of a really nice piece of wood. Like it feels like it was well thought out and very, very useful. And then it comes with this really nice set of scissors that even come with a special sleeve to protect them. So if you have really big, like chin hairs or whatever, or even cutting around your ears and stuff like that, or whatever else you want to use it on, these scissors are really sharp, really good, and really, really nice to check out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like they thought of everything. It's all in this kit. So whether it's for you or the bearded person in your life, we want you to go get your 20% off and free shipping with the code Wizards20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code Wizards20. It's the Manscaped Beard Hedger. One stroke, one guard, 20 lengths. And hey, now back to the show.
So my next cover is actually issue number 122, which is an issue with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man on the cover. And I just think, was this the first like movie poster or movie image cover or one of the first?
Yeah, it's very early on. Exactly. Yeah.
And was this the first time that they actually showed an image of Tobey Spider-Man?
I don't know, like in all of pop culture, but yeah,
No, I mean like
definitely
in
for
Wizard in
Wizard
particular.
magazine. Yeah.
That's cool. And I think that's kind of significant because like nowadays you look at many magazines, Entertainment Weekly or whatever, you always see superhero covers nowadays or various, but you wouldn't always see a movie poster or a movie image on a cover of a magazine back then. So I just find that kind of significant in my mind.
Yeah, and obviously it was a huge moment for superhero films. It was kind of like it felt like it had been a long time since we had something that major. So for this movie to come out and be such a hit and be, so loved, and the sequel even more so, that's great. My next one here is a cover. Again, I love when Spidey is with somebody. I always feel like he should be teaming up so he has a banter, that he can have back and forth with people. And I would love to know what the banter would be here if this had actually happened. This is the cover of Wizard number 62, which, we've covered on the podcast. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, it's a fun one. But this is Spawn and Spider-Man as drawn by J. Scott Campbell.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. And so the big deal here is that Wizard was really kind of feeling their power a little bit. They're like, we can make things happen. We can influence this. So they're like, let's put them on the cover and we'll hope that Todd McFarlane someday does a Spider-Man Spawn book. He already did Spider-Man Batman. Why does he do Spider-Man Spawn? Well, all these years later, we still haven't gotten it, but it gives us that hope, right? It gives us that imagination. They even were pitching plot ideas for what the story could be. They took it like all the way to the end to be like, all you have to do is draw it and publish it, Todd. Come on. So I just love that idea behind it, that little bit of Wizard historical significance as well.
That is cool. So now I'm up to my number one. Do you want to go first or want me to go first?
Let me I'll do one more here. Yeah, let me
Okay.
grab one here because I thought this was significant, and this is the cover to issue number 179. Now the reason this is a big deal, and big is the main word I want to use here, is this
Oh.
is when Wizards switched their format to the larger style, like the magazine Rolling Stone almost a size,
Mhm.
and so it got people's attention on the newsstands. But this is a Michael Turner image of Spidey just holding his mask up. Okay. Oh, I bet you didn't know. I was the model for that. See, right there.
Sure you are. This is actually significant because this is also right after or right before when Civil War was coming out, where they had the Hero Registration Act in the comics, and Spider-Man unmasked himself and revealed who his identity was as he joined Team Iron Man. And they're just showing a snippet or a tease of that sort of a thing, which I find very cool.
Well, that's what I love about it, is that it's not like, again, like we're not showing that moment from the comic. It's just giving you a little bit of information like, what is this all about? It's literally
Mhm.
just a mask hanging there. And I remember just that being such an impactful moment because it felt like that was one of the last times that continuity mattered. So you had
Mhm.
all those decades of Spider-Man history, and now there he is pulling off the mask at a press conference saying, my name is Peter Parker. I've been Spider-Man since I was 15 years old. And it's just like, oh, you get the chills.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
just love it. I love everything that represents.
So to round out the list, and my number one, obviously again, is another Alex Ross cover. And this is for issue 100, the 100th issue of Wizard magazine, and it just happens to be Spider-Man. It's a callback to issue number one where he's back in the cloak and the wizard cap and everything. Because if you know, after issue what, like 50 or so, or maybe even earlier, they stopped using the cloak completely, and then or any kind of relation to that kind of wizardy star thing. And this is a callback to the first issue. It's visually beautiful. It's a similar kind of pose to the McFarlane cover, but more like gliding down. I just think it's stunning, and it's one of those things that like you'd want to see on a poster, you know? And I feel like if anybody would have a poster, Adam would have that poster.
I do have that poster. It's right behind me here. It's a little bit far away, but it's right there for Wizard of 100. It's a work of art that deserves to be framed. This is how I feel about it. Todd's rendition for the first issue, that is of the moment. That is, Todd McFarlane is the guy, and it definitely calls back to that moment in time in the comics industry. And the issue 50 recreation, the less said about that, the better. They use the Fleer flare coloring. You're just like, don't do that. Oh, but this Alex Ross to me feels like not just good comic book art. It is a classic work of art. It could be in a museum. If that was the only image of Spider-Man we had, decades from now, people might be like, huh, what was this Spider-Man? Let's say centuries from now, and decades from now, they're going to know Spider-Man. But centuries from now, they're just like, wait, was Spider-Man a wizard? What? But either way, I still think it's a great representation. So that's a fantastic number one, even though these weren't necessarily in any particular order, but we knew that had to be number one because it just takes the classic concept of the wizard cover to the next level. So
for sure. Yeah, no, and we're going to be doing more of these type of things. And if you have suggestions of other top 10s you want to do, we'll do other top 10s. I'm sure we'll do a Wolverine one because there's like 68 Wolverine covers, something like that. What we'll also do is we'll take all of these scans and we'll put them up on our Patreon, and so you check out all the individual scans of the Spider-Man covers. So Adam, how can they find our Patreon?
Well, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/Wizards Comics. And yes, for $5 a month, you get early released episodes. They are uncut, they are unfiltered. And honestly, guys, we're giving you like 20 extra minutes usually of content, of just conversations. An episode we just released recently, Michael's talking about action figures and Funko Pops and everything with our guests, and everybody's getting super excited about collecting statues. So there's a lot of stuff you miss out on if you only listen to the main feed. So we recommend you get on over, support the podcast for $5 a month. Plus, you get full scans of the issues as we're preparing to release the episodes, so you can read along. We even did a special thing where we let some of the patrons pick their own issues that they wanted that we'd already covered, and we sent it their way. So that you never know what's going to pop up over there. We do it because you support us. We want to support your fandom. And of course, we want you to stay in touch with us. So, Michael, where can they find us elsewhere?
So on Twitter, it's Wizards Comics. On Instagram, it's Wizards_Comics. And Facebook, it's at Wizards Comics as well, because we now have a Facebook page. And we've also made a TikTok that we're going to be starting to create content on as well, which I think is also Wizards Comics, right?
Yeah, it is. Wizards Comics everywhere you look. That's what we're about. Wizard Magazine, comic books, bring it all together for your enjoyment. And we want to thank you so much for checking out this video. But until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.